The new Action Osmo. Ah! We are here at Arapaho Basin testing out the new Dji Osmo Action against the GoPro 7 Black. It's a snowy day, it's cold, we're wearing full gear. We're gonna do all kinds of real action sport tests. So make sure you stick around for the whole video. How's it going?
Hey, how are you?
Before I get too far into this video, I wanted to let you know that this entire video was filmed in 1080p, and it's 100% full auto mode. The color, the sound, the field of view, they're all directly right off the Osmo Action as well as the DJI GoPro 7 Black. There's no post-processing, color adjustments, or audio enhancements in this video. Remember, this is an action test to see if one of these cameras actually works better in high action kind of environments. Filming yourself, using a selfie stick, going out, having some fun on the slopes. You'll be seeing a ton of side-by-side action with different frame rates as well as other modes that both these cameras have to offer. If you're wanting to see some glorious 4K side-by-side action, then make sure to subscribe and click that little bell icon so you don't miss any of this amazing 4K footage between these two cameras, so you can really see which one's the right camera for you. Right now the GoPro is set in wide mode. You have three options on the GoPro. You have linear, wide, and super wide, which usually when I'm vlogging like this I'll put it in linear, but I wanted it to be in wide because I think that's the closest to the field of view that the Osmo Action always has. So if you're using the Osmo Action and you have Rocksteady on, which is their image stabilization, it puts you in one field of view and one field of view only. But you can sort of always crop in later in post. You just can't crop out and get that super view. I charged both the GoPro and the Osmo Action to a complete 100% charge last night, and I want to see which one dies first. I've made a quick settings change. The GoPro, which you're hearing the audio right now from, is now on super wide. The Osmo Action is still in its Rocksteady basic wide format. So let's see how it does. It's almost June, man! It's almost June! So as you get down from the top and you get closer to the tree line, visibility becomes a little better. Let me know what you guys think. Which camera so far, side by side, is capturing this better? I would consider this low light conditions because the sun is completely fogged out. What do you guys think so far? Which one do you think is capturing the sound quality as well as the
the picture. We are now filming in linear mode on the GoPro. And this is what I normally film in when I'm doing vloggy style talk stuff, and then I'll switch it to wide or super wide. Super wide when I'm filming myself snowboard, because it gets more of me and the board and everything into the shot. As you've probably noticed, there's a green check mark in whichever one you're hearing the audio from. We're gonna leave it in linear for a little bit just to see how much less it actually gets in when you're holding the stick to yourself. Video reviewing my initial impressions of the Osmo Action, make sure you go click this card here, as well as it'll be linked in the description. And it's covering a lot of points that most reviewers are not covering. So that's linear mode. You can see how much closer it is to me. It's cropped in. We're gonna switch back to super wide so we don't miss anything on the way down in the GoPro. And let's continue the run now. Super wide on the GoPro, rock steady on the Osmo Action. Woo, that's steep. That's steep. Whoa! Whoa! Whoa, that's steep. That's steep. Whoa! Whoa! Whoa, that's steep. That's steep. Whoa! 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 This is steep. Let me know which one you think in the comments below is handling the chop. And keep in mind that the stabilization is only one feature worth buying the camera for. Woo. We are in super view on the GoPro, and I have turned rock steady off on the Osmo Action. As far as I'm aware, the only way that you can get that field of view is to turn stabilization off. What's the point of having the Osmo Action with no stabilization? What's the point of having the Osmo Action with no stabilization? If you switch to 120 frames per second, rock steady is gone.
Bebop mode engaged.
What's up, guys? Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, look, guys, it's Jonathan Buckhouse.
What is this? What? The new Action Osmo? Ah! John, guys, buys all the toys the moment they come out.
With the clouds out like this, HDR video should be pretty good. The stabilization is off, so it shouldn't be nearly as stable as my GoPro at the moment. Standing here perfectly still, it should be a decent image. But again, snowboarding, moving it around, you tell me, like which one's better? During this entire video, I wouldn't even be able to see that front screen. It's so light out here in the sunlight, and now it's disappeared. The front screen also times out just like the back screen does. I assume we can adjust that so it doesn't time out, but again, I've said this in my other video, the front screen is really just a novelty. See it being useful here and there if you're a vlogger, but honestly, if you've ever vlogged with a GoPro, you know you don't need to see the screen, so it is a novelty.
It's an extra, and luckily it doesn't make the camera cost more. Super view, stabilization on the GoPro, regular view, rock steady on the Osmo Action. How'd it look? Which one's more stable in the park, doing a couple jumps and through the trees? We tried the HDR mode earlier when I was sort of standstill and I shook the camera around, but I wanted to try it in actual action. HDR on the Osmo Action. It does turn rock steady off, so our field of view should be very, very similar between the two. There is no HDR video on the GoPro, so let's do a quick run and see what they look like in motion. Let's do a quick run and see what they look like in motion. So let's do a quick run and see what they look like in motion. All right, so which one looked better? I've now got the GoPro at 120 frames per second, super wide mode, and this should be in a comparable field of view because Rocksteady is turned off when you put it to 120 frames per second. Although the GoPro should still have the stabilization on. Let's see how it looks in regular motion as well as slowed down. In these videos, I'm not adjusting the color. I'm not tweaking the volume levels. Everything is right off the SD card. So you get what you see. And that's how I do my videos. And that's how you can tell which one you prefer. How was that, man? That was a pretty good little drop I wasn't expecting. How did both these cameras handle that? The battery at the GoPro is at 7%. The battery at the Osmo Action is at 14%. Not what I expected, especially because I have my auto shut off on the GoPro set to like 5 minutes and about 1 minute or so on the Osmo Action. So this has been shutting off and this has been running in the background a whole lot today. What really surprises me is this has a bigger battery. The Osmo Action has a bigger battery in it, yet it's almost at the same deadness. I felt that's an important thing to point out for all you who are going, oh yeah, it's got a bigger battery. It's gonna make a huge difference. It doesn't make a huge difference. It's that close to the same thing. I thought the two big selling points for the Osmo Action was gonna be a longer battery life as well as that front screen. The other thing that I'm noticing
is you don't get stabilization as in many modes on the Osmo Action. The GoPro, the stabilization is pretty much locked in every mode you do. The Osmo Action is not.
So both cameras are dead. The GoPro actually worked its way down to 1% and then shut off. The Osmo Action got to about 10 or 11% and then did a low battery warning and then shut off at 10%. They died almost at the exact same time. Battery life in 32-degree weather on the GoPro is almost identical to the Osmo Action with a larger battery. If that was a big question for you guys, it's been answered. Real life use of the Osmo Action versus the GoPro 7 Black. I tried really hard to just show you guys this video side by side and not really give you my opinions. If you're curious about that, really make sure you subscribe, because I'm doing a video that's taking all these videos and sitting down and really hashing out what I think of this camera. If you don't want to miss that and the 4K video, you know what to do. Thanks for watching, and I appreciate you watching this as well as my other Osmo Action camera reviews and comparisons. With all that, thanks again, and I'll see you next time.